I'm in beautiful Stonehaven, near Aberdeen in the northeast of Scotland. It's actually my first trip outside of Canada in nearly 3 years, now that Justin Trudeau has released the unvaxxed from his travel quarantines. I'm here for a great reason and a terrible reason. The great reason is to introduce our new journalist from the UK, Callum Smiles, who has been doing great journalism across this country, and we'll talk more with him. But I'm also here for a terrible reason, to talk to Gabbie Burnett and her brother Luke. And I'll introduce them more in a second, but let me show you how I met Gabbie and Luke from thousands of miles away. I saw this atrocious video taken by Gabbie of the day the police burst into her home without a search warrant because of some lockdown snitch. Watch this video and come right back, because I'll tell you what we're going to do about it. Take a look.
Just stop it, man.
Yes.
In my house?
Yes.
I do not think so.
Oh, trust me.
What's wrong? What are you, mate?
Right, no.
Mum,
Hey.
no, please, my mum, no. Please stop it, my name. Please stop it. She's got anxiety. She's just been at hospital. She's just been at hospital. What is going on? She's just been in hospital. Get off of her! She's got epilepsy! She's got epilepsy! What are you doing? She's got a seizure! Get off of that seizure! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What have you done? What have you done?
I was in Canada. I was far away. I had never been to Scotland until today. I had never met you or heard of you. I saw that video and I was enraged. We're not just here to tell the story of what happened. We're here to fight back. We have crowdfunded a lawyer to defend you in court, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Callum Smiles and I want to talk about what happened that day. Callum, you've watched that video. What would you want to ask Gabbie and Luke? And we'll talk to Luke, who was there observing.
Because the world has only seen from when you started the camera, we don't know exactly what happened beforehand. So in your own words, what exactly happened that day?
Well, that day, it was just a normal day. We're obviously all bored because of lockdown and that. I'd been going through some stuff, so my mum was looking after me. I was all tired and everything. I was just chilling with my little brother. I think my mum was through the house with her friend. I think they had a bottle of wine or something. Maybe had some music on, not very loud or anything, just like everyone does. And then we had that knock to the door, and they were questioning my mum about who she had in the house, and about coming into the house to check who she had in the house, and she obviously wasn't up for that because we've done nothing wrong, and there's no reason for them to be coming into our house. They had no warrant. And then from then I thought it's getting a bit loud and a bit too much, so I'll get my phone and record it because my little brother's there as well, which I'm worried about obviously. And then I went through to say, I'll give you my mum's details, and as I said that's when I got tackled to the ground in front of my little brother, and my head smacked off of something and had a seizure.
So you had a seizure. They burst in the home, no search warrant. They pushed their way in. How many of them were there?
There was 2 stands at the door, and I'm sure there was 2 on the stairs as well.
They pushed their way in, and your brother, Luke, you're 11 now. How old were you back then? Were you 9 or 10?
10.
And, I'm talking to you with your sister's permission. It's not my practice to talk to young kids on camera, but you were there not just as a witness, but as a family member. And I don't want to ask you prickly questions, but what was it like seeing your mom being tackled this way by cops?
Scary. And
I think you were crying, were you?
yeah.
He was crying, and he was all loud and, oh my god, someone get her someone. He was totally in a state.
So were you worried more about the cops or about your sister's seizure?
Sister seizure.
Did the cops help her at all with the seizure?
No.
I think think they just screamed. They were just screaming, "Get away from her!" They were just screaming.
That's
that,
what they were doing.
Yeah. They were screaming at my own mum and brother that were trying to help me, that have, obviously done all this before with me, to get away from me.
I don't want to ask you any tough questions. You're just a kid. A terrible thing happened and you saw it. Do you think about this from time to time? Does it bother you?
Yeah. It does.
It bothers me too. I can tell you that, Gabbie, there were a lot of terrible things done by police around the world in the name of the lockdown. This was January 2021. It was about the height. It was when things were at their worst. Here we are in October 2022. And what's shocking to me is that they're still proceeding against you. They're prosecuting you for assault. I find that astonishing. Surely we've all woken up to the fact that this was police overreaction, but they're doubling down.
Well, you would have thought that everyone, the amount of people that were going crazy about it and telling, and even the people like the MPs and that I've seen that were annoyed about it, but they're still trying to say that it was me that assaulted them.
Has anyone in the UK reached out to help you? Have any civil liberties groups or any politicians, has anyone come to your aid?
I've had a lot of messages on Facebook and Instagram from groups like this saying if you got a lawyer, have you got help, if you need any, things like that. But because I had this, I thought I'd just leave it. But lots of people were reaching out to me, loads of people that I wouldn't even think would be.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And when I saw that video over in Canada, I just thought, this is one of the worst cases in the world. I followed the lockdown police in a lot of jurisdictions. Callum, you and I were talking on our way over here. We both grew up with a deep respect for police. I would call myself pro-police. But some of these lockdown measures over the last 2 years have really shaken my faith. There were some abuses out there.
And it's scary more than anything, because you think, you grow up thinking the police are there to protect you. You hear the phrase "sworn to protect," and now there's more this sense of they're persecuting the little man, even when they're proven to be wrong.
Well, I hate what they did to you, Gabbie, and Luke, the fact that you were there really bothers me a lot too. I have a youngster, and I can only imagine what that was like. Here's what we've done at Rebel News. We have hired one of the best law firms in Scotland. In fact, I found out that Callum Anderson, the lead lawyer on this, was actually the lawyer for the First Minister of Scotland. So he is really one of the top criminal counsel around. And we have set up a crowdfunding page because, we can't afford just to make a donation on our own. But if we have lots of help from hundreds of people chipping in a tenner or 20, whether it's in pounds or in dollars, I think you have some supporters on the other side of the Atlantic, I can tell you. We can cover that. We've been paying the legal bills so far, and it's coming up on a trial. We're not sure exactly what the trial date is. I know there's a hearing scheduled for the 12th, but it might be delayed. I want to look into the camera and say, folks, I came all the way over here from Canada because I found this a global shame, what the police did. Not a shame to you, a shame on Scottish police. And when no one else jumped in to provide you a lawyer, I thought that's exactly what Rebel News does. And now that Callum Smiles is here as our reporter in the UK, Callum, I'm going to charge you with the duty of following this case through the courts, because I can't come over from Canada all the time. This is my first journey in years, actually. I want you to cover this. Gabbie, I want you to know that you did nothing wrong. I find it shocking that the police are prosecuting you. They should be writing you a letter of apology, frankly, and an apology to your mum and to your brother too.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I know it's the way that they've been is even making me question myself, and that's
don't let them do that.
I'm saying, don't ever let anyone do that. You've done nothing wrong. You've got proof you've done nothing wrong. You don't need to take a step back and go, maybe.
Yeah, it's astonishing what they did. Well, look, if you saw that video, and if you are as appalled as I am, go to standwithgabbie.co.uk. Standwithgabbie.co.uk. You can watch the whole video for yourself. And if you want to support one of Scotland's top criminal law firms defending Gabbie, you can do that right there. And whether it's £10 or $100 or whatever, I swear to you, we will defend this in court. because this is not just of interest to your family. This must be a precedent for all of Scotland, all of the UK, and Canadian police and American police should see this and know this is not acceptable in a modern democracy. What do you say to the folks at home who I've asked to chip in 10 or 20 or 100 pounds for? What would you say to them?
I'd appreciate anyone helping, of course, and it means a lot because I really didn't think that anyone would be this interested in my case. You know, you don't think that something like this is going to be made so big, but it just shows you how crazy it is. And I do appreciate everyone at home, and I hope people help, and I hope we can get it sorted and we can get justice for what's happened.
We'll do our best. It's called Stand with Gabbie, and we're going to do that. Callum, your job is to go to these trials, to tweet from the trial, get permission from the court, live tweet them, go outside the court, record videos, tell the world what's going on, because I can't come here. You are our man on the ground. That's your chief task.
Will do.
All right. There you have it. Gabbie Burnett, her brother Luke, you're a very brave young man, and thanks for appearing on camera. We couldn't do it by ourselves. We need you to fill in the gap. Let's get that top criminal law firm involved, and let's get a little bit of justice. From Stonehaven, near Aberdeen, in the northeast of Scotland in the United Kingdom, for Rebel News, I'm Ezra Levant. I'm here in Scotland because I'm standing with Gabbie. If you want to stand with Gabbie, go to standwithgabbie.co.uk and fight back against police brutality that use the pandemic as an excuse.